So we're here at the Broad actually in LA, and this elevator is very interestingly done because it has this like tunnel almost that you go through in order to reach the top. The escalator, I'm sorry. It's not an elevator, escalator. The Broad Museum in LA that opened this year is a museum for modern art, but it truly is a great experience for the entire family, including small kids. When I first heard of it, I figured, oh, it's probably not anything that I would take kids to. However, check out the elevator. It's a glass elevator. My son zoomed and said it's straight out of Willy Wonka. But we'll get to the elevator a little later. I didn't think much of the museum as a place to bring kids. However, after seeing what they have to offer, I have to recommend that this truly is a place to bring kids of all ages. So we'll start with the elevator. This is the glass elevator. Usually you have an elevator that has wires on the top. This one has them on the bottom, and it is, like my son suggested, straight out of Willy Wonka. Now, kids are very fascinated from the minute that they enter, because this escalator is, you go upwards to the third floor from the bottom, like through a tunnel. So it is very fascinating, and it kind of introduces you to the possibilities. What's great about this museum is every single room, the third floor is built in a circular form, so you kind of start and end in the same place. And what's amazing about it is the fact that every single room has a surprise, has something for everybody. And this includes kids, adults. There's something fascinating for everybody to kind of focus on. And also it speaks to everybody because it is everyday life, but interpreted in different ways. Now, most exhibits here, you need to take a closer look, a second look, because if you just look at it once from one angle, you're missing the point. You need to go around and see where, different angles and what it means. And I will give you examples. This is the main entrance here, where you come with the escalator, and from basically looking at this, you think, oh, balloons, oh, how cute. First of all, it's very cute because you can actually see yourself, the reflection right here. But if you look carefully at this, it's actually tulips. So it's always worth a second look. Now, this beautiful exhibit here is called In the Land of the Dead, Stepping on the Tail of a Rainbow, by Takashi Murakami, and it is a massive 82-foot long painting. So it is an amazing painting here. He's famous for his anime art. So Murakami follows basically the belief that in reaching for alternative truths in picture making, by initiating existing forms or styles and imbuing them with new essence. So you kind of put things together and make them work. So here is, you could see Taoist hermits with magical powers, a hermit in blue riding a dragon, and another one holding a baby, and then another one leans on a frog, and those are just little, motifs. So I'm going to walk you through this huge painting, which covers 2 walls in this museum, and it's just gorgeous. And of course, Japanese motifs and figures. Okay, this is tail end of it. I'm going to give you a look from one side to the other. Anyway, now we're going to go quickly through the rooms. It doesn't really matter if you go from left to right or right to left, because you end up in the same place. This is Andy Warhol area, Jackie O and Elvis, and a self-portrait here, and Thomas Francis, who was basically a most wanted person. And as you continue, some more paintings, some of them more abstract, some of them more political sometimes. This one is called Jasper Johns the Watchman. And right here, as you continue, you see these are completely abstract. By the way, the rooms are great because they're spacious and you have natural light, which is great. Now, this one's very funny. Tips for artists who want to sell. And generally speaking, paintings with light color sell more quickly. Subjects that sell well: Madonna and Child, landscapes, flower paintings, still lifes, morbid props, free of morbid props, dead birds, etc., nudes, marine pictures, abstracts, and surrealism. And subject matter is important. So things with cows and hens collect dust, while the same paintings with bulls and roosters sell. So that's kind of interesting perspective. But you continue and you can see more paintings, and each one is so different because it depends from what angle you see it and if it has any meaning. This one's a good one. This is by Charles Ray. Okay, and we're continuing here. Okay, and this is a portrait by Chuck Close. One, two, and as I am continuing the rooms, you will see some of the more interesting exhibits. This room is a little more political. For example, this one, Cy Twombly, conjures moments of genesis and creative hedonism that exist before ideas attain full expression in the conventional image or language. Hold on. A lot of the times, you may have like items that might have no meaning as single items, but in a group setting it might have a little more of a meaning. And then of course you have different carvings, wooden carvings. There is a Liechtenstein area, which is also quite fascinating to check, including several pieces that are called Goldfish Bowl and Live Ammo. And as I'm continuing, check out the building. The building is very fascinating. It looks like a beehive, and it gets a lot of light, but it does not reflect directly into the room. This is one of the favorite for kids, the poodle balloon, and then this room is Jeff Koons, and it's very lively, very colorful, and very interesting to check out. You have a rabbit here from different directions. You even have a Hoover display of vacuums. Of course, a train, a choo-choo train, but a large one. See, the thing is that he takes everyday items that one recognizes and then he turns them into works of art. Michael Jackson with his ape bubbles. So this room is great for kids.
Right.
Remember the name Jeff Koons? Some more art. This is more of a political wall. Jenny Holzer, inflammatory essays in different colors. Now this is probably one of the best for kids. How it feels to be small in the world. So you, as a human, fit under chairs, under tables. This is one of the things that everybody kind of associated likes. So remember, as a child, if you hid under the table, well, this is a giant table that you can always hide under. So this is called Robert Tierin, Under the Table 1994. The objects seem familiar, they're ordinary items. Derived from the artist's experiences, the objects are more than personal symbols, they're products of collective memory. You've seen these pieces before, but not in the same order that, you know, the sculpture or the artist has used them. So in Under the Table, Tierin fuses Alice's Adventures in Wonderland with the Duchampian tradition of ready-made, constructing doppelganger from everyday piece furniture. He both displays his visual wit and actualizes literary or imaginative fantasy in a three-dimension space. So the table, at almost 10 feet tall, has an extraordinary presence, and you are compelled to walk under it and literally feel what it's like to be a little person under. This is another of the rooms that is a lot of meaning and double entendre. You have kids here that says, I mean, this is kind of a 3D effect: have me, want me, feed me, hug me, love me. And then if you look from this side, it basically says psychotic, neurotic, you see this one, schizophrenic, hysterical, and paranoid. So it depends from what angle you see things in life, which is a very interesting aspect. So here we are back again with the glass elevator straight from Willy Wonka and the tulips. And then there's one more room on this side that is definitely worth checking out, and this is America. A lot of places for selfies, that's for sure. And then great art here as well. Some of it a little more macabre, some of it more interesting. All of it worth exploring and taking kids to understand. This is a 3D piece, which is beautiful. One of the things that you need to talk to your kids about is not touching the items, because the truth is they're very attractive, especially to little fingers. So this is Gold Griot by Jean-Michel. So a lot of, almost you could call it graffiti-like art. With a lot of interpretation. And then we have one more room. Oh, this is adorable. Kids love this one. This is, I guess, I first thought it was an alligator, but it's called Untitled. So check this out. From different angles, it looks different. By the way, one of the things here, it's beautifully arranged, of course, but also manned well. So because it's manned so well, you can always ask somebody here to sit and explain the piece to you. So, which is also great. it has a lot of docents and volunteers walking around and watching the pieces and also explaining things. Okay, so this is called Fall of 91 and by Charles Ray, and again, quite tall lady. So what is it like to see everybody and everything from different angles and dimensions? They also have dinosaur bones. Oh, and this is straight out of any little animation movie that you know, you could think of with cutouts, including this. I don't think I need to explain what this is. So quite a bit, this is by Kara Walker, quite a bit of items that otherwise you wouldn't have been introduced or seen are great to bring kids and show them around. I will leave you with one last picture. This is by Andreas Gursky, and this is the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. So do come and see the Broad. You do want to make a reservation because there's 200, 300 people sitting in line every day, so you want to sit and you want to definitely make a reservation so you can get in and you and your kids will not wait. This is Marguerite Francis. This is one of the exhibits. It's a temporary exhibit by Yayoi Kusama called Infinity Mirrored Room, The Souls of Millions of Light Years Away. And this is a very special little room lit with a lot of LED lights and mirrors. And of course they keep you there only for a minute, and then you just go in, stay on the platform, and this is the room. And it's very fascinating actually. And it gets dark and it gets light, and there's water underneath there, but it's a very interesting, and it's pitch dark, interesting experience here. And this is at the Broad. They let you in here for a minute. That's it. Yes?
Finished videotaping?
Not yet.
It's so interesting about it with lots of lights.
Well, because it's amazing. Look, there's infinity. You can look all around and it's all infinity. I mean, lights and lights and lights. Okay? Oh, yeah, the very interesting glass elevator that this museum has with the controls and the wires on the bottom instead of on the top. And it feels almost like Star Trek. There you go. So it's going all the way into the shaft. It's very interesting to see. The architecture in this museum is fascinating. And the pieces are too.